Good evening, welcome back or welcome to Ghost Stories with Joanna. I'm Joanna, aka Commitment Issues, and this is my podcast. We are back with some spooky Reddit stories because I, for one, absolutely love the paranormal and the supernatural, and I'm very interested in it. So today I thought we would take a look at the subreddit r/ghost stories. Ooh. And I know it's been a while since we've done this and since I've been around, but I am back and I have put an update on my YouTube channel, so if you are interested then you can go watch that. And I also explain why there might just be some gaming footage in the back. That is my gaming footage. Yes, I am playing The Sims 3 in the background, but I do go into it in my previous video, so I'm not going to go into it here and bore you all. We're just going to delve into the spooky stories, and I don't know why though. I am recording this at 9:30 at night. I just had some energy and was like, you know what, why don't I just record right now, and not really realising that it's nighttime and then I'm going to finish reading these creepy stories and have to try to go to sleep. So, oh well. I mean, I watch like paranormal investigations at night and then fall asleep anyway, so I don't really think it matters with my brain so much nowadays. When I was younger, yes, I was terrified of ghosts and everything, but now still a little scared of it, but not so much where I hear a spooky story and can't sleep. Anyway, rambling over, let's dig into this subreddit. I cannot speak and I have to remember to hydrate whilst doing this, so grab yourself a drink, whatever drink you want to drink. Maybe get yourself a snack, get under a blanket, make yourself comfortable, and let's get into the spooky stories, shall we? All of these stories are from the subreddit r/ghost stories. I think I saw the ghost of my neighbour one morning some years ago. I woke up and as I opened my eyes and turned my head, I saw a woman walking in the hallway. She was blonde and wearing a white dress. She walked into the room where my mother slept and then disappeared. Later, when my mother woke up, I told her about it. During the morning, we found out that our upstairs neighbour, an old lady, died in her sleep during the night. My mother, in the evening, told me that she went upstairs in her home to help her relatives, and there she saw a photo of her when she was younger. She was blonde. Ooh, is that it? Oh, there's no comments or anything. Awesome. This was only posted 8 hours ago, fair enough. But that's it. That's it. I have put this on hot, sorting out the subreddit and put it as hot because I wanted some of the more popular ones, see if they have comments and stuff, but this one, it doesn't. It just has upvotes. But I feel like you probably, you might have seen her and she might have been at her prime when she was younger and blonde. Maybe she was just kind of doing her rounds, saying farewell to the building, or maybe it wasn't even her and you were seeing someone else. Just a disclaimer, yes, some of these posts may be complete works of fiction. They may not have happened. Like I said, I do believe in the paranormal, but I do tend to take everything I see on Reddit with a pinch of salt. But for the sake of these episodes, I do like to simply go in with an entirely open mind and go in with the mindset of they're all true. You know, sometimes I do kind of try to debunk them, think about what could actually be going on, but in these episodes I do like to just go in with the mindset of this is true, because I just think it makes for a more interesting video. So that's just a disclaimer, so just letting you know. And you can disagree with any of this. You might not believe in ghosts, you might be totally skeptical, and that is absolutely fine. This is just for entertainment purposes and maybe just, you know, to get us a little scared, because I like being a bit scared in the entertainment sense, not in the real world sense, if you know what I mean. Like, I don't actually want to live feeling frightened, but it's like watching a horror movie, you know? Why do we do it? For like the adrenaline, to be scared, and that's what I kind of get out of these stories, but I also just find them very interesting, like I said. Anyway, that was a very short one. I'm going to see if I can find a longer one, because have I got anything up in advance? No. Why would I? Because this is just like a spur of the moment, ADHD moment, going like, oh, let's make a video. Anyway, I have found a longer one, so let's take a little gander, shall we? This one is titled Strange Paranormal Encounters. So we have multiple here. Ooh, goody. Okay, first of all, I know what you guys must be thinking, and no, this is not a karma farming post. Genuine help required. I did not know what karma farming was, but I'm guessing is karma kind of like the thing you get on Reddit? I'm new to it. I don't actually post on Reddit. I think I've never posted on Reddit, and I don't know the terminology and I don't know how it works. I just watch YouTube videos of people reacting to Reddit stories usually, hence why we're doing this, because I am so unique and original. At least I'm doing ghost stories and not like, am I the arsehole? You know, at least I'm not doing that. No shade to anyone who does those kind of videos. I literally watch a couple of people who react to those videos because, you know, it's funny, isn't it? But anyway, where was I going with this? I actually don't think I had a point. Let's get into the story. For reference, I am a normal 16-year-old guy. Usually a skeptic when it comes to these things, but I have previously encountered some religious stuff which shouldn't be real, so I believe these things to a certain extent. I am not superstitious, and those other religious stuff is in no way linked to this. Okay, here's the timeline of events, documented as per my text to my girlfriend. Rightio. I love how this is like written. I want to try do this as like a script, or like how it might be written down in like a screenplay. So, setting, a dark room, the 8th of February, around 1:45 a.m. I can't sleep as usual, so I just lay on my bed and stare at my fan, but I noticed something strange. That day, my room felt uncannily dark. I open my curtains. Usually the light from the street lamps is enough to light up my room, but today it appears engulfed in a black mist of some sort, so dark that even my fan, which is barely 2 meters above me, is not visible. Side note, for a 16-year-old, this is really well written. I felt like I was getting paranoid, so I turned on my flash from my phone for a while, and yeah, even with flash, the walls, completely white, aren't appearing much white or radiantly bright in a sense. I forced myself to sleep. The same thing happened a few other times. Okay. Scene 2. The first knock. On 28th of February at 11:35 p.m. Parents aren't home. My floor is empty. Grandparents are home, but they are old and don't come upstairs. I heard a knock, a single knock, so hard that my belt hanging behind my door started swinging, and it swung for 2 whole minutes. There was no wind. My curtains were closed, so I would have known if there was wind. At 11:39, I gathered the courage, stood up, went outside. Nothing. Nobody. I distract myself and forget about it. The third and final scene. 3 knocks. 3rd of March, around 6 p.m. I was in the washroom. Okay, so for reference, what my younger sister usually does is she comes and repeatedly knocks 4 to 5 times to tell someone to hurry up. I heard 3 consecutive knocks, even fainter than the last. These weren't as loud as the previous, but loud enough for me to hear them while having my headphones on. If I were to explain the knocks themselves, I would say they were like dropping a ball on a wooden surface on how the ball makes a tap. Loses energy each bout and makes a fainter tap. I didn't think too much of it. I washed my face quickly, combed my hair and came out, only to find out she hasn't been home for like the past half an hour. And guess where everyone is? Downstairs. How do I know it wasn't one of them? Upstairs? Well, they don't knock. They use the front palm of their hand to tap the door, which makes a different sound. So I asked and confirmed that there couldn't have been anyone outside. Now I'm here with a million questions but no place to ask. Everything mentioned on the past dates has been cross-checked by my old messages in chat, so it's not a fuzzy recollection, but exactly how they played out. I am genuinely getting concerned. Ooh, okay. So from the comments, people kind of had my thought, where it sounds like something is kind of making its presence known. It might be a new thing, but it might be an old thing, you know. A spirit just might be getting more active now, but I don't know how long this person's lived in their house. They might have, if they lived there the whole life, then you would kind of expect this, if that spirit was there before them, then you would expect them to be activity before this. If it's a newer thing, then I would like kind of be wondering what's going on. OP in the comments did, because someone asked if the house has been blessed or anything, and OP said that there's like an altar in their house for the deities of their religion, so it kind of gets blessed every evening when they pray. And I'm gonna guess if they've got an altar of some kind for a certain like religious practice, they probably have like maybe some incense or oils burning. They're kind of like blessing the house anyway, and the spirit will know that this is the kind of household they're in if they're intelligent. Ask, how does it make you feel? Like, obviously at first you're going to feel uncomfortable and feel a little scared and worried, but then after that kind of initial feeling, what is the feeling? Like, do you feel safe? Do you feel like you're being watched, or there's something kind of lingering? Because then it might be malicious. If you feel like it's just kind of there, and you just kind of feel a presence, but it's not like a heavy presence, then I feel like that's probably just a regular spirit, you know, or just kind of an energy. I would say just don't react. Try not to react to it. Don't communicate with it. Definitely don't call out or communicate with it. Just kind of try to pretend it's just not there. Obviously, if it gets worse, then there are other things you can do, like, but considering that you have like your religious and you probably do religious practices in your home, like every day, like you said, I would feel like that would ward off evil. Or maybe it's just nothing and you're just hearing things. And the darkness could have been like a trick with the eyes and stuff. You might have just been tired, because you did say like the first one was like like nearly 2 a.m. in the morning, so you might have just kind of been tired. And at that time, I mean, I have visual snow, so even in the dark I see loads of like squiggly lines and it looks like static. So and I feel like sometimes I'm going insane, but our eyes play tricks on us, definitely, especially in the dark and if we're tired and it's late. So if you want to interact, but obviously if you give it more attention, then it's more likely that the spirit's going to be more likely to get more active, I'm trying to say, because if you give it more attention, then it's more likely to be active and do more things. So just be wary with these kind of things. But very interesting story. Next story. This title, I'm just like, huh? Okay. The title is Tall, Pale, White Thing? Question mark? Okay. Let's take a gander, shall we? I wasn't a believer in the paranormal at all, and don't know anything about it. So I've made an account just to ask for help from y'all to figure out what the actual fuck this thing was. I was in my apartment and it was pretty late, like 11ish, so I went to go to bed. And the whole day I had just felt kind of icky, for lack of a better description. I went to turn the light in my living room off, and the feeling got worse. Then I went to the kitchen to turn that light off, and the feeling got even worse, like way worse. I started low-key feeling scared, but I shook it off because I have an anxiety disorder and figured I was just tired. But then I went into my bathroom, and guys, I'm not even joking. I turned that light off and the worst feeling erupted in my apartment, and it felt like I was being hunted. Like literally hunted. Like my life was literally in danger. I'm literally shaking, guys, talking about this. I turned that light off and looked in the mirror and I saw this thing. Oh my fucking god. I don't even want to say it because I don't want it to be real. But this thing was like at least 7 foot tall because it was leaning down into the doorway and looking at me. And it was pale white, like completely white, and that's all I could see before it ducked out of sight and disappeared. But I felt like I was being stalked, hunted, and I said several prayers and the feeling finally went away, and I haven't seen it again. But help, what the fuck was it? Sincerely, a terrified college student. Oh my days, that's scary. Yeah, someone in the comments is like, I don't think that would have been a good thing or positive, just because of how you were feeling. If you are religious, like you said, you were praying, but look, sometimes if something bad happens, I pray to something. I'm not religious and I'm just like, oh my god, if someone's listening to something, you know. But if you are religious or you just feel called to, maybe keep praying. Just, you know, because I'm guessing you're living in student accommodation. If you say you're a college student, I'm just guessing you might be living in student accommodation. And if you say college student, I'm guessing you might be American. Is it an old building you're living in? Because a lot of, you know, universities, a lot of the buildings are quite old. and could be haunted. How you described it, being really tall and kind of having to duck into the doorway to look at you, I wouldn't say that's a good thing, because when you hear stories about these kind of things with like the really creepy kind of shadow figures, even though you said it like it was white but translucent figures, then they tend to not be all that great. Yeah. And like you were saying, you just felt off all day and then just had this horrible sinking feeling. Like you said, you have an anxiety disorder. I too have anxiety, and things that cause the anxiety get worse, and I understand, like, sometimes I can get this really horrible sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach just out of nowhere, and usually it's just my anxiety kind of building up, and it feels like it's out of nowhere, but it's usually something's going on, you know, in my head. But that's also usually our, like, survival instinct kicking in. Like, you know when people say trust your gut? My anxiety is in my gut. Like, I get this, like, knot in my stomach, and so sometimes it could be anxiety, but it could be anxiety for the right reasons, like this, like your body, I think something was warning you, like, hey, just be careful, and then you started praying and kind of the feeling kind of went away. So maybe just keep praying, get an item of protection, whatever you follow or whatever is called to you. So may that be a religious item or a occult item, depending on, you know, like a cross or a pentagram or, you know, anything like that. Incense, smudging, you know. Obviously, if you're a college student, a lot of dorms don't actually like people burning candles and incense, but that did not stop me, and it doesn't stop most college students and university students. I'm just saying, like, we just open the windows, and I know people who used to put like bags around the smoke detectors. They weren't burning incense though, just letting you know when they were doing that, they weren't burning incense. But just going off on one now. That's always a good place to start, I feel. And also saying outright to the space, I am protected. You do not have power over me or in this space. Being very kind of not forceful, but just standing your ground is always a good thing to do as well. Hopefully you never see this thing again and you never feel like that again, because that sounds like it actually was terrifying. Oh my god, I'm terrified for poor OP there. Holy effing flying fart. Okay, I actually have to find another one. Oh, this is a crazy title. This might be the last one. We'll see. A spirit led me to his body while on night shift patrol. While on night shift patrol, my sergeant was good at keeping us busy, turning slow nights into games. He would run something called the sticky note challenge, placing a sticky note on a random business window for us to find between calls. It was one of those nights around 2 a.m. that I began shining my alley lights and spot lamp on every building I passed, slowly driving the streets and focusing on every bit of movement. I'm guessing you're a cop, yeah? I'm guessing. When I reached the north side of town, I approached an old muffler shop. Whatever that is, I don't know what an old muffler shop is, but okay, let's carry on. The closer I got, the more my stomach turned. You see what I was saying about the last one? About the stomach thing? Listen to your gut, people. Something didn't feel right. As I reached the front, my patrol car was almost at a crawl while I strained my eyes through the dirty, dark window tint. Then I saw something. A male figure slowly passing a window on the far right of the building. I called for additional units and maintained visual of the front door while backup arrived. Myself and 3 others checked the perimeter and found the front door unsecure. The second I entered, I was hit with a strong, coppery metal odour, the unmistakable smell of blood. So that's what blood smells like. I've never been around a lot of blood, so I don't know, but I always have this feeling it probably smell kind of metally, because we have a lot of iron in our blood, so there we go. We cleared most of the building and nothing seemed disturbed or out of place. But when I made it to the back office, we found a man slumped over the desk, a Glock in his right hand. It was clear he had been gone for some time, as rigor mortis had set in. Oh, did he do it to himself? The thought of that figure ran through me. Who was it? During a secondary search, I noticed a camera above the filing cabinet. After obtaining access to the footage from a business contact we had on file, I told detectives what I had seen. Sure enough, it was just him. He had come into the business earlier that day, alone, unlocked the door and taken his own life. Nobody else was seen on the video. When the medical examiner arrived, a note was recovered from his pocket addressed to his wife, asking for forgiveness. Oh. I couldn't sleep or drive down that road for the longest time. That night changed something in me. Logically, I know the video showed only him, alone. Every rational part of my mind accepts the facts. Some might call it a lingering spirit, or just an unexplained twist of perception, but whatever I saw and felt that night guided me there. Damn. That's insane. Imagine if the spirit was the guy being like, hey, I need someone to find my body and tell my wife what's happened and where I've been, because if rigor mortis is already set in, he must have been there for, some time. I don't know how long it takes for rigor mortis to set in, but he's probably been there longer than a night, probably. That's really sad though. It might have been a other spirit kind of being like, hey, you need to go in here, or it might have been the guy showing you himself, hey, my body's in here, because you wouldn't have even gone in that building if you didn't see the weird figure go into it. I want to find maybe one more kind of weird one, because that one's sad. Okay, so this one's not that long and it's just titled The Demon, but at the end it's they mention a Ouija board, so I'm gonna just be like, don't do it. Okay, so this is going to be the last post of this video, and just me probably getting annoyed at OP for using a freaking Ouija board. Okay, The Demon. So, on Halloween night last year, 2025, my boyfriend, myself, a friend, and his mum decided to play with a Ouija board. What do you mean his mum? How old are you? For God's sake. And how old was the mum? The mum should know better. Oh my days. During the spiritual session, I placed my hand on the board and couldn't move it. My friend became very disorientated and didn't seem himself. His mother became very angry. My boyfriend and I went home, and weird things started happening. Light flickering, hearing footsteps, doors and things opening on their own, and our cats were acting weird too, because you brought something home with you. So a few days later, we got our home blessed. Well done. Skip to about 2 months later, and that friend comes over and he is acting very strange. So my now husband and I decide to perform an exorcism on him. What? Now mind you, I'm not a preacher, so technically I had no idea what I was doing. I had read certain passages from the Bible, like Psalms 23 and the Lord's Prayer. Is that it? And I even put the Bible on his skin and it left a burn mark when I did. I don't know if this is true, but we're just gonna go with it. Eventually, somehow, he got this thing exorcised and our friend was back to normal. And then I saw a dark figure in our room and it somehow possessed me. Turns out it's wanted me this entire time. It wants me dead. I could feel this. Okie dokie. My husband and friend ended up going and getting my husband's mum, who brought out an oracle board. The frig is an oracle board. And we ended up talking to a good spirit who told us some things. Oh, I think is an oracle board like the actual kind of Ouija board? Maybe like a priestess or someone trained in this would use. I'm not sure though. Like whatever was trying to get to me had the initials C for Charlie and M for what's M? Mama? No. Mother. No, what's M for? Whatever. CM. I don't know anything about with these initials. The good spirit also said that we are not to ever touch a Ouija board again. No shit. Thing is, in the house where I live, when I go to the main floor and sit on the couch in the front room, I look at my left and in a clear crate is a Ouija board box. And every time I see it, I'm tempted to play again. This seems like a plot of a movie. If this actually happened, then I am so sorry for you. But also, you're all morons. If you're married to a husband, I'm guessing you're an adult and you should know not to mess with this shit. But who knows if that was real. But hey ho, if it was, like I said previously, let's pretend it is. No wonder the mum got mad, but also, why was the mum playing with it with adults? Like, you could be in your early 20s for all I know, or even your late teens, and still be married, who knows. But moral of the story, or a takeaway I will give you for the end of this episode is, for the love of all that is good, do not mess with Ouija boards. They might just be like, oh, it's just a game and harmless fun. No, because no one ever knows how to actually use them properly unless, you're like an actual, I don't know, trained friggin' psychic. I don't know how these things work, but if you're actually trained in the occult and know what you're talking about, then fine. But if you're an idiot who just thinks that a Ouija board is just, something fun and quirky, please don't touch one. The risk is far too great, even if you don't believe in it. Even if you think it's a whole host of bullshit, there's probably a reason you still won't touch a Ouija board or do certain things, Anyway, guys, at least that was a lighter note to end on. Don't mess with flipping Ouija boards. And maybe there's going to be a horror movie, another horror movie out there soon, because that might have been just a plot of a movie, who knows. Anyway, thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for listening. And if you have got to the very end of this episode, I appreciate you, and you are amazing. Thank you so much, and I will catch you in the next episode. And if you are watching this in the evening, sweet dreams, sleep tight.